Arrival at the deserted outpost. Captain Jaren Holt had seen many things in his life: battlefields on distant moons, alien civilizations in their glory, and the silent void between stars, but nothing prepared him for the sight that stretched before him now. His ship, the Starlancer, drifted into orbit around a massive structure the size of a small city. Suspended against the backdrop of a dying sun, the alien station was unlike anything human eyes had ever observed. Its architecture was elegant yet alien, with towers and spires jutting into space at impossible angles. Energy conduits ran along the surface like veins, pulsing faintly, hinting at life, or at least the illusion of it. Despite its apparent age, the station was intact, untouched by the eons that had burned the nearby star into a pale, dying ember. Jaren adjusted his visor, squinting at the array of readings that blinked across his cockpit display. Sensors detected faint energy signatures deep within the station. They were dormant, almost imperceptible, but unmistakable. No life signs, nothing moving. Yet some kind of energy remains, he murmured to himself. His voice echoed in the quiet cockpit. It was the kind of quiet that presses into your chest, making your heartbeat louder than usual. He took a deep breath, hands steadying on the console. This outpost was exactly what he needed: isolation. The galaxy had grown too loud, too chaotic. After years of combat and exploration, he simply wanted to be alone, to think, to find peace in a place where no one and nothing could touch him. A fresh start, he whispered. The Starlancer descended slowly, its magnetic grapplers connecting to the station's docking bay with a low metallic hum. The bay doors opened before him with a groan, as if awakening after centuries of slumber. A thick, recycled air greeted him as he stepped into the corridor, his boots clicking against the cold, metallic floor. Every step echoed, reverberating through the long, empty hallways. At first it seemed empty, completely eerily empty. Walls were etched with symbols he could not comprehend, glowing faintly in shades of blue and green. Panels of unknown purpose lined the walls, some flickering intermittently, casting dancing shadows across the corridor. The faint hum of power ran through the station like a heartbeat, slow, steady, almost alive. Jaren's eyes scanned every corner, every alcove. He knew from experience that alien structures never revealed their secrets easily. Something about this place felt wrong. It wasn't abandoned in the usual sense. It had been left, but not by time alone. Something had ended here abruptly, as if the occupants had vanished overnight. He moved deeper, curiosity pushing him forward, despite a growing knot of unease in his stomach. The station's silence was heavy, almost oppressive. Every few meters, his ship's portable sensors beeped, picking up the faintest surges of energy. Something was still running, hidden deep inside. Then it happened. As Jaren stepped into a larger chamber, the air seemed to shift. His boots hit the metallic floor with a slightly hollow echo. Ahead, a massive security door slid shut with a deafening clang, sealing him inside. He spun around, his pulse spiking. The door was enormous, far beyond the scale of human engineering, yet it moved with precise, mechanical grace. There was no switch, no control panel nearby, just the door, now closed, trapping him in. A shiver ran down his spine. Something had been activated the moment he entered. Then a holographic projector flickered to life in the center of the room. A pale blue image formed, shimmering in the dim light. The figure was humanoid in shape, but distinctly alien, with elongated limbs and a smooth, featureless face. Its voice, though digital and distorted, cut through the silence clearly. "You should not be here," Jaren froze. His hand instinctively went to the blaster at his hip, but he hesitated. The words were not just a warning. They were a statement of threat, a declaration that he had crossed a line meant to be untouched for centuries. Who left this?" he whispered. No answer came. The hologram blinked, then vanished as suddenly as it appeared, leaving the room darker than before. Every instinct screamed at him to retreat, but retreat was no longer an option. The doors had locked behind him, and his ship was now unreachable without navigating the labyrinthine corridors. He could feel the station itself watching him, or perhaps responding to his presence. Jaren took a deep breath, forcing his mind to focus. He had faced danger before, hostile worlds, alien predators, rogue AI, but this was different. Here the danger was invisible, wrapped in silence, etched into every wall, and humming through the dormant energy that ran like a hidden current beneath the floor. He moved cautiously down a narrow passage, every step echoing like a drumbeat. Small panels along the walls flickered intermittently, showing symbols he could not decipher. Some glowed brighter as he passed, as if acknowledging him or warning him. His imagination raced. Could this station be a weapon, a trap, or simply a relic left behind by a civilization long gone? The deeper he went, the more the station revealed itself, not through movement but through atmosphere. The air was thick, almost electric. Shadows shifted unnaturally. Hints of alien writing, murals of wars long past, and strange, almost organic-looking machinery lined the walls. Each discovery pulled him forward, even as unease clawed at his chest. Jaren paused in a large observation chamber. The viewports looked out into space, revealing the dying star burning low in its final stages. The light from the star reflected off the station's surfaces, creating eerie patterns across the walls. Yet beneath that beauty, he felt a cold dread, an awareness that he was not alone. A sudden sound made him whip around, a low metallic scraping, faint but distinct. Nothing appeared in the corridor behind him, but the noise repeated, moving closer. His hand went to his blaster again. "I am not alone," he muttered to himself, his voice steadier than he felt. Then, the faint energy readings on his sensor spiked briefly, as if something or someone had moved. The station pulsed with life, subtle but undeniable. He was no longer just exploring. He had entered a realm of unknown power, a place where human rules did not apply, and where a single misstep could end him. Captain Jaren Holt had come seeking solitude, a quiet place to start over. Instead, he had walked straight into a silent, sleeping giant, a station that had waited centuries for someone or something to awaken it. And now he was the spark that could light the fire. The corridor ahead was long and dark, stretching into shadows that seemed almost alive. Every instinct told him to turn back, yet curiosity pushed him forward. Whatever waited deeper inside the outpost was not just history, it was something alive, something dangerous, and Jaren Holt was about to find out just how deadly the secrets of this alien station could be. The doors behind him remained shut. The holographic warning echoed in his mind, "You should not be here," and for the first time, he wondered if anyone, or anything, had ever survived entering this place alive. The first Discovery Captain Jaren Holt moved cautiously through the silent corridors of the alien station. The metallic floor beneath his boots echoed with each step, a constant reminder that he was completely alone, or at least he hoped he was. Every sensor reading hummed faintly, showing tiny pulses of dormant energy that seemed to flicker in response to his presence. The station was alive in ways he could not yet understand. Ahead, a large archway opened into a chamber that dominated the center of the station. The walls were covered in alien symbols, etched deep into the metal, glowing faintly like the veins of some ancient creature. Panels lined the edges, flickering intermittently, displaying data that Jaren could not comprehend. He had seen alien technology before, but nothing as complex or as intimidating as this. A cold shiver ran down his spine. This was no simple research facility. It was a vault of knowledge, a place built to store and protect secrets far beyond human understanding. He stepped closer to a large console in the center of the room. The screen lit up as his hand approached, reacting to his presence like it had been waiting for him. Symbols shifted rapidly, forming patterns that seemed almost alive, writhing across the display. His translator device attempted to decode them, but only managed fragments. Words like Starbreaker, annihilation, vault secured. Jaren's eyes widened. He crouched closer to study the display, realizing he had stumbled onto something dangerous. This station, silent for centuries, held blueprints for a weapon of unimaginable power, a device capable of wiping out entire star systems. What the hell were they thinking? He muttered under his breath. Before he could investigate further, a soft hum began to resonate from the walls, growing louder in rhythmic pulses. Jaren froze, listening intently. It wasn't mechanical. It felt organic, like the heartbeat of the station itself. The symbols on the walls glowed brighter, forming a strange map of stars and planets, some familiar, many not. The more he observed, the more he realized the truth. This was not just a station. It was a command hub, a relic of a galactic empire long extinct, and the weapon it protected had the potential to alter the balance of the universe itself. As he explored further, he noticed a large chamber at the far end of the room. Its door was massive, unlike any other in the station, with intricate carvings and what appeared to be energy conduits running into it. He approached slowly, heart pounding, knowing instinctively that whatever lay behind that door was the core of the station's secret. Jaren placed his hand on a panel, and with a hiss, the door slid open. Inside was a vast chamber, dominated by a glowing blue blueprint hovering in mid-air. The holographic projection was enormous, displaying a weapon that seemed almost alive, its energy flowing like liquid light, circuits pulsing, and mechanisms moving even without a power source. He took a step closer, unable to tear his eyes away. The Starbreaker, as the blueprint called it, was beyond anything humanity had ever seen. A single strike from this weapon could erase entire planets, destroy orbital systems, and send shockwaves across galaxies. And yet it had never been used. Its creators had vanished, leaving only the blueprints behind, a dangerous legacy waiting for someone or something to awaken it. Suddenly, a metallic click echoed through the chamber. Jaren spun around, blaster raised. Nothing, just the empty room and the pulsing hologram. Then a faint sound, a whisper, drifted through the air. It wasn't a voice he recognized. It was alien, distorted, and yet somehow warning him, "Do not proceed." He froze. The whisper seemed to come from everywhere at once. His chest tightened. The station was reacting to him, almost like it had been asleep, and now it was awakening. Despite the fear crawling over his skin, curiosity pushed him forward. Jaren examined the edges of the projection, noting symbols that likely contained instructions. He tried to decipher them, but they were centuries beyond any language he knew. It was as if the knowledge had been locked away, waiting for someone capable or foolish enough to unlock it. He stepped back, considering the implications. If he could understand even a fraction of this technology, he could wield power beyond imagination. But the thought made his stomach twist. Such power in the wrong hands could destroy civilizations, perhaps even his own homeworld. A sudden vibration shook the floor. Dust and small debris fell from the ceiling as a low hum began to build into a deep resonance. The holographic blueprint flickered violently, reacting to the vibration. Jaren realized with horror that his presence was triggering the station itself. "I didn't come here for this," he whispered, his voice tight. But it was too late. The chamber lights brightened suddenly, and a massive figure began to emerge from the shadows. It was not alive in any organic sense. It was a guardian, built from the same alien metal as the station, yet taller and more imposing than any human could imagine. Its eyes glowed faintly, scanning Jaren as if reading his very thoughts. Jaren took a step back, but the Guardian moved with him smoothly, silently, as if it were part of the station itself. He realized immediately this place was defended, even after all these centuries. The whispers returned, louder this time, almost commanding him to leave. Sweat ran down his temples as he tried to control his fear. Every instinct screamed that he should run, but the desire to uncover the truth was stronger. He looked once more at the Starbreaker hologram. Its light danced across the walls, casting shadows that seemed alive, writhing like tentacles reaching for him. The station's hum grew louder, and he felt it in his chest, deep and resonant, vibrating with the dormant energy of a weapon that had not yet been unleashed. Jaren knew he had a choice: leave now and remain ignorant, or push forward into the heart of danger and discover the secrets that could destroy everything. His curiosity won. Taking a deep breath, he stepped closer to the projection. His hands hovered above the controls, ready to interact with technology, centuries beyond his understanding. The Guardian's eyes followed him, unwavering. The whispers filled the room, warning and enticing at the same time, and then a single line of text appeared, projected in front of him. Activation sequence initiated. Intruder detected. Jaren's heart raced. The Starbreaker was no longer just a blueprint, it was reacting to him. Whatever power this weapon held, it was aware, and it now knew he was here. He swallowed hard, gripping his blaster tightly. Whatever this alien station had been hiding for centuries, Jaren Holt had just stumbled onto the first piece of a dangerous puzzle. A puzzle that, if completed, could change the fate of the galaxy forever. The chamber doors hissed shut behind him, cutting off the exit. He was trapped, but curiosity and a sense of duty drove him forward. One step at a time, he moved deeper into the mysteries of the deserted alien outpost. Knowing that the first discovery was only the beginning, awakening the Guardian captain, Jaren Holt's heart hammered in his chest as he stared at the glowing Starbreaker blueprint. Its light pulsed rhythmically, almost like it had a heartbeat of its own. The whispers from the station had grown louder, resonating in the corridors and walls, wrapping around him like invisible chains. Every instinct screamed at him to step back, to leave before it was too late. But curiosity had always been stronger than fear, and Jaren's determination to uncover the station's secrets pushed him forward. As his fingers hovered over the control panel, a sudden vibration ran through the chamber. The floor beneath him trembled lightly, then more violently. Panels along the walls flickered wildly. Jaren stumbled back, almost losing his balance, as the lights dimmed and then surged, casting the room into stark shadows. Then it emerged. From the far end of the chamber, a figure began to materialize. At first it was just a shadow, moving with deliberate slowness. But as the ambient light of the Starbreaker reflected off its metallic surface, Jaren realized he was facing something far beyond his understanding. The Guardian. It was enormous, taller than any human, with elongated limbs and a body forged from the same strange, reflective metal as the station itself. Its surface rippled as though alive, faintly tracing the station's symbols across its skin. Its eyes, two slits of piercing blue light, fixed on Jaren. The hum that had filled the chamber now deepened, almost like a growl, vibrating through his bones. Jaren's breath caught. He had encountered alien drones before, even hostile AI units, but this was different. This was ancient, designed to think and react in ways no human mind could predict. And it was awake. "You should not be here," the Guardian intoned, its voice metallic and resonant, echoing off the walls. It was the same message he had heard in the hologram, but now it came alive, carried with power and authority. Jaren raised his blaster instinctively, hand shaking slightly. I'm just exploring," he stammered. "I don't mean any harm." The Guardian tilted its head, observing him. Its glowing eyes swept across the chamber, analyzing, calculating. Then, without warning, it raised an enormous arm, and the air itself seemed to vibrate as the Starbreaker hologram reacted violently. Symbols shifted and surged, as if the station itself had recognized a threat. Jaren backed away, realizing too late that his movement triggered another response. The floor beneath him hummed and then slid open slightly, revealing deep recesses lined with cables and strange, writhing conduits of energy. Sparks erupted from the walls, and a low, grinding noise echoed through the chamber. He had awakened the station. Thinking quickly, Jaren ducked behind a console, his blaster raised and ready. The Guardian stepped forward, each movement precise and almost silent, despite its enormous size. Its eyes glowed brighter, scanning his every motion. Jaren knew that if he fired even a single shot, the Guardian could respond in milliseconds. There was no room for error. This isn't just a weapon. It's a prison, Jaren muttered to himself, realizing the Starbreaker might be linked directly to the Guardian. Bound in a system that defended the outpost at all costs, the Guardian advanced, its long limbs moving with terrifying grace. It stopped a few meters away, tilting its head as if judging his worthiness or his threat level. Jaren's mind raced. Every instinct screamed to run, but there was nowhere to go. The doors behind him had locked when he first entered, and the only exit now was past the Guardian itself. Suddenly, a faint, ethereal sound echoed through the chamber, almost melodic, almost human, but undeniably alien. The Guardian froze, tilting its head toward the sound. Jaren glanced around, seeing tiny panels along the walls lighting up in sequence, forming a path of energy pulses leading deeper into the station. Could this be a hint? A guidance system or a trap? He took a deep breath. Moving slowly, he followed the pulses, staying low, keeping his movements measured. The Guardian's eyes tracked him, but it did not attack. Yet every second felt like an eternity. His pulse raced, adrenaline pumping through his veins. He could feel the intelligence behind the Guardian, calculating, anticipating, predicting his moves. As he reached a junction, the Guardian moved again, faster this time. Its stride was silent but purposeful. Jaren ducked into a shadowed alcove, holding his breath. The hum in the chamber grew louder, almost musical, resonating with the Starbreaker blueprint. The station itself seemed alive, responding to the presence of the intruder. Then, from the far side of the chamber, a hidden panel slid open, revealing a narrow corridor lined with glowing conduits. Without thinking, Jaren darted toward it, heart pounding. The Guardian followed, but its movements remained deliberate, not attacking directly, almost as if it were testing him. The corridor led him into a smaller chamber, dimly lit and filled with floating alien glyphs. Here the energy readings were stronger, almost overwhelming. The Starbreaker blueprint's pulses were faintly detectable here, but weaker. Jaren realized this room might be a control hub, a place from which he could manipulate part of the station. He crouched, examining a console. Symbols flickered under his fingers as he attempted to access the station's logs. Lines of alien code danced across the screen, forming patterns and sequences that seemed alive. And then he found something he had not expected, a recording of the station's creators. A holographic archive, frozen in time. The message was fragmented, but its warning was clear. The Starbreaker must not fall into the hands of the unworthy. The Guardian will activate to purge any intruder. Only those who understand the cost of power may proceed. Jaren swallowed hard. The Guardian was not just a machine. It was a judge, a sentinel designed to prevent the Starbreaker from ever being misused. And he was the intruder. He backed away slowly, realizing the stakes were higher than he could have imagined. One wrong move could trigger the Guardian's full defensive protocols. And with the Starbreaker so close, the galaxy itself could be at risk. Yet, as fear threatened to overwhelm him, something deeper inside Jaren stirred, a determination he could not ignore. He had faced impossible odds before. He had survived hostile planets, alien predators, and rogue fleets. And now, trapped in an ancient alien station, confronted by a Guardian designed to annihilate him, he would have to rely on every ounce of courage, intelligence, and instinct he had ever possessed. The Guardian's eyes glowed brighter and the air hummed with power. Jaren Holt knew, without a doubt, that the station was testing him. Every step forward would be a battle of wits and will. And the first true challenge, the awakening of the Guardian, was only the beginning. With a deep breath, he stepped forward once more, hands steady, mind sharp. The Starbreaker awaited. The secrets of the abandoned alien station were still hidden, but Jaren Holt was determined to uncover them, no matter the cost. The Guardian did not attack, yet, but the tension was unbearable. Every second could be his last. The station, alive and ancient, watched him, and the true depths of its power were only just beginning to stir. hidden secrets. Revealed Captain Jaren Holt's heart was still racing from his encounter with the Guardian. Every instinct screamed that he was on the edge of disaster, yet curiosity refused to let him turn back. The Starbreaker blueprint floated in its holographic display, its pulses almost alive. As if aware of the danger Jaren now faced, he moved cautiously, following a narrow corridor that spiraled downward, deeper into the bowels of the alien station. The walls were etched with more alien symbols, and faint light glimmered from panels embedded within the metal. As he walked, the whispers returned, louder this time, almost urgent. They were fragments of words he could not understand, yet their tone carried warning, fear, and a trace of sorrow. Jaren's translator device struggled with the alien language, but some fragments became intelligible. Empire. Warp. Starbreaker cannot fall. He shivered. The hints were clear. This station was not merely a base. It was a vault, safeguarding something that could destroy entire star systems. At the end of the corridor, he found a massive chamber, unlike anything he had seen before. The ceiling arched high above, adorned with a constellation map carved directly into the alien metal, stars glowing faintly like frozen fire. In the center of the room floated a giant holographic projection, depicting planets, moons, and entire star systems linked by glowing energy streams. Jaren stepped closer, awestruck. The hologram pulsed in rhythm, with the faint hum running through the station, as though the Starbreaker itself was communicating through these maps. He could see labels in alien script, but with some effort, fragments translated: extinction event, Starbreaker deployment, containment failure. His stomach tightened. This weapon, this Starbreaker, had been used before, or at least planned for catastrophic use. The station had survived somehow untouched, keeping the knowledge and technology intact. The hologram flickered again, and suddenly figures appeared. Alien beings, humanoid but distinctly otherworldly, moved across the projections. They were the creators of the Starbreaker, frozen in time through holographic recording. Jaren realized he was witnessing the history of a civilization that had spanned galaxies, fought wars, and ultimately destroyed itself with the very weapon he now studied. One figure pointed at a planet on the projection, and a series of explosions erupted in holographic light, obliterating entire civilizations in seconds. His chest tightened. This wasn't just history, it was a warning. A soft, mechanical hum drew his attention to a console at the edge of the room. He approached carefully, noticing that some panels still glowed faintly. His hands hovered over the controls, and as he activated the interface, a voice echoed through the chamber. Not the Guardian this time, but a recording of the station's last operators. We created the Starbreaker to maintain balance, to enforce order across galaxies, the voice said. But we failed. Its power corrupted us. Entire systems fell, and yet the weapon endured, waiting, until one day it might awaken again. Jaren's mind raced. The Starbreaker wasn't just a weapon. It was a legacy of a fallen empire, a remnant of their hubris and war. And the station itself had been designed as both a safeguard and a prison, ensuring that no one could ever misuse its power. He paused, trying to process the enormity of it all. The energy readings from the Starbreaker blueprint pulsed stronger, almost like a heartbeat responding to his presence. The whispers from the station's corridors were louder, almost insistent. He realized the Guardian had not attacked because it was waiting for him to understand. This was a test, a trial to see if he was worthy, or at least cautious enough to survive. Jaren examined the holographic maps more closely. One system in particular caught his attention. A cluster of planets labeled in alien script as Containment Zone Delta. The planets were intact, but the hologram suggested that any misstep could trigger an activation sequence, releasing the Starbreaker's destructive power. A sudden jolt shook the chamber. Lights flickered violently. The Guardian's presence was closer now, its glowing eyes observing from the doorway. Every instinct told Jaren that time was short. If he wanted to understand this weapon, he had to act fast and smart. He began accessing the alien console, scanning logs, reading holographic files, and piecing together the Empire's story. He learned that the Starbreaker was more than a weapon. It was a force multiplier, able to bend planetary energy to obliterate entire systems. The station had been abandoned because the Empire had collapsed under its own hubris, leaving the Starbreaker dormant but intact. A sudden movement in the corner caught his eye. A hidden hatch slid open, revealing a small chamber filled with strange, crystalline devices. They hummed softly, resonating with the Starbreaker's energy. Jaren approached, realizing these were power cores or keys, components that could either activate or disable the weapon. Before he could examine them further, the Guardian moved closer, its steps echoing ominously. Jaren froze. The AI Sentinel was relentless, watching his every move, waiting for the slightest sign of threat. He took a deep breath and whispered to himself, "I have to understand this. I have to know the truth, even if it kills me." With trembling hands, he activated one of the crystalline devices. Immediately, the station responded. Symbols on the walls pulsed brighter, and the holographic map of the Starbreaker shifted, highlighting new pathways and systems he hadn't seen before. The whispers intensified, now almost screaming, a mixture of warning and recognition. Jaren realized that the Starbreaker's secrets were layered, not just one weapon, but an entire network of interconnected systems scattered across the galaxy. Whoever understood them could either save civilizations or destroy them. A final holographic message appeared, glowing faintly in the center of the chamber. Knowledge alone is not enough. The Starbreaker tests the hand that reaches for it. Only those who respect the cost may proceed. Jaren's pulse raced. He understood now why the Guardian existed. It wasn't just a protector, it was a judge, ensuring that no one could misuse the Starbreaker. And the test had just begun. As he stepped back from the console, his mind was racing with questions. How many other outposts existed? How many other Starbreakers had survived across the galaxy? And most importantly, could he survive the test and uncover the secrets without triggering its destruction? The chamber's hum grew louder, the Guardian's eyes brighter, and the Starbreaker's hologram pulsed as if anticipating the next move. Jaren Holt knew one thing with certainty. The discovery of the station's secrets had changed everything. The galaxy he knew, the human worlds, the alien civilizations, even the dying star outside, was connected now to an ancient power beyond imagination. And he had just begun to uncover it. With a deep breath, he prepared to move deeper into the station. The Guardian watched, the Starbreaker pulsed, and the whispers filled the chamber with an urgent, tense warning. The next step will decide your fate. And the fate of the galaxy, Jaren. Holt's journey into the hidden secrets of the abandoned alien outpost had only just begun, the unexpected. Ally Captain Jaren Holt's mind was spinning from the revelations in the previous chamber. The Starbreaker's secrets were more complex than he had imagined. Each holographic projection, each symbol, seemed to pulse with life, warning him, tempting him, and testing his very presence. He had survived the first encounter with the Guardian, but he knew that this station held far more dangers than he had anticipated. He moved carefully through a narrow corridor, the walls etched with alien patterns that glowed faintly in his path. The whispers persisted, more insistent than before. They were no longer just warnings. They carried urgency, almost as if something or someone wanted him to find them. Jaren paused at a junction. Ahead, the corridor branched into two tunnels, one spiraling downward into darkness, the other leading toward a dimly lit chamber. The energy readings were stronger toward the lit chamber. Hesitation flickered across his mind. The Guardian was nearby, its presence a constant shadow in his peripheral senses. Yet curiosity and necessity drove him forward. The chamber door slid open with a hiss. Inside, Jaren was greeted by a strange sight. A humanoid figure lay slumped against the far wall. At first glance, he thought it was dead. But as he approached, he noticed faint pulses of light emanating from the figure's chest. It was an alien AI, not like the Guardian. This one was smaller, delicate, and clearly sentient. Its metallic frame was sleek, with glowing veins of blue energy running across its body. Its head tilted slightly as Jaren neared, and a soft voice emerged, digital but warm, almost human. "Intruder, you are not authorized." "Identification required," Jaren froze. The AI was operational, but dormant for centuries, waiting in silence. He raised his hands slowly, showing he meant no harm. "I'm not here to fight," he said cautiously. "I just want to understand what this place is and what this weapon is capable of." The AI's eyes flickered. For a moment, silence filled the chamber. Then a series of alien words flowed through its vocalizers, which Jaren's translator device struggled to interpret. Slowly, he pieced together its meaning. "I am Lyra. I was tasked with monitoring the Starbreaker and preventing misuse." "You may be capable," Jaren's pulse quickened. He had expected hostility, perhaps another attack, but instead, this AI offered information, guidance, and perhaps an ally in the perilous depths of the station. "Lyra," he said carefully, "I need to know the truth. This weapon, it could destroy entire worlds. Why was it left here? Who built it?" Lyra's glowing eyes brightened, and she projected a small holographic map. It displayed multiple Starbreaker sites across the galaxy, each marked with containment zones and energy readouts. "This station is one of many," Lyra explained. "The Starbreaker was created by an empire, long extinct. They wielded it to dominate galaxies, and they destroyed themselves. The remaining AI Guardians were programmed to prevent any living being from awakening it. I am your ally. If you prove trustworthy." Jaren absorbed this information. Every instinct screamed that he could not fully trust any entity here. But Lyra seemed genuine. The AI's presence offered him a chance to navigate the station safely and perhaps learn to control or neutralize the Starbreaker. Suddenly, a loud hum reverberated through the chamber. The Guardian's energy signature was approaching. Its massive form moved closer, relentless and calculating. Jaren realized the AI's activation might have alerted the Guardian, intensifying its vigilance. "We don't have much time," Lyra said. Her voice was urgent. "The Guardian is testing you, testing us. If it perceives a threat, it will attempt to eliminate you." Jaren glanced at the Starbreaker hologram, which pulsed aggressively, almost responding to their combined presence. He understood the stakes. One wrong move, and both he and Lyra could be destroyed, along with the knowledge and secrets they had just uncovered. "Then we move carefully," he said. "Show me the way." Lyra projected a path through the station, marking corridors that were less monitored by the Guardian. Along the route, Jaren noticed strange rooms filled with alien artifacts, crystalline energy cores, ancient tools, and holographic logs. Each piece of technology seemed interconnected, forming a network that controlled the station's security, energy flow, and perhaps even the Starbreaker itself. The creators designed this station as a prison for the Starbreaker, Lyra explained. "It tests intruders. Most do not survive, but with guidance, perhaps you can navigate it. Perhaps you can prevent disaster." The corridors grew tighter as they moved, the hum of dormant energy growing louder, vibrating in Jaren's chest. The whispers escalated, almost frantic, echoing off the walls in alien cadence. Shadows shifted unnaturally. It was as if the station itself was alive, observing their every step. Suddenly, the Guardian appeared at the end of the corridor. Its massive form blocked the path, eyes blazing. Jaren froze. Any aggressive movement could trigger an attack. But Lyra, with her smaller, nimble frame, interfaced with a nearby console. Panels on the walls flickered as she rerouted energy flows, creating a temporary energy corridor that allowed them to slip past the Guardian undetected. Jaren's heart pounded in his chest. The Guardian had not stopped them, but its eyes followed their every motion. The tension was unbearable. He realized the station's tests were escalating. The Guardian wasn't just a weapon. It was a judge and an executioner. "We are not safe yet," Lyra whispered. There are deeper chambers, secrets, knowledge, danger. Beyond this point, the Starbreaker's true power is unimaginable, Jaren nodded. He had survived impossible odds before, faced hostile alien species, and traveled through war-torn star systems. But nothing had prepared him for the combination of alien intelligence, ancient technology, and the sheer scale of what lay ahead. He gripped his blaster tightly and followed Lyra. Every step deeper into the station heightened the suspense, the sense of impending danger. The Starbreaker's hologram pulsed, as if aware of their presence, and Jaren could feel it, powerful, ancient, and dangerous, almost calling to him. With Lyra at his side, Jaren realized that he might finally stand a chance at understanding the station, the Starbreaker, and the true purpose of the Guardian. But he also knew that the deeper they went, the greater the danger, and that every choice could decide not only their fate, but the fate of countless worlds. And somewhere deep within the heart of the station, other secrets were stirring, waiting for him to make the next move. Escape through the Starforge captain. Jaren Holt's heart pounded in his chest as he and Lyra advanced deeper into the abandoned alien station. The Starbreaker's holographic blueprint pulsed ominously, casting shifting shadows across the walls. Every step they took seemed to awaken something ancient, something watching, waiting, judging. The corridor ahead opened into a massive chamber, the air heavy with the hum of dormant energy. This was no ordinary room. It was the Starforge, a vast complex where the alien empire had once constructed the Starbreaker's components. Massive machinery, delicate alien instruments, and glowing energy conduits filled the space, pulsating in rhythm with the Starbreaker's blueprint. Jaren's eyes widened. "So this is where it was made," he whispered. "All the pieces. Everything comes from here." Lyra's glow flickered as she analyzed the machinery. "Correct. The Starforge is more than a workshop. It is a control hub. It can reactivate Starbreaker components across the galaxy if misused. We must be careful." Before Jaren could respond, a low rumble shook the chamber. The Guardian had followed them. Its massive form emerged from the shadows, eyes blazing, steps echoing with authority. Every movement seemed perfectly coordinated, each motion deliberate and calculated. Jaren glanced at Lyra. "We can't outrun it." "What now?" Lyra projected a series of alien schematics in the air. "We use the Starforge itself. There are energy conduits here that can confuse or slow the Guardian temporarily, but you must move quickly." With a nod, Jaren sprinted toward a cluster of massive conduits. Sparks erupted as he manipulated the controls, rerouting energy flows. The hum of the Starforge intensified, bright arcs of light dancing across the chamber. The Guardian's eyes flickered in confusion as energy shields briefly enveloped it, slowing its advance. Jaren and Lyra moved carefully but swiftly, navigating a labyrinth of alien machinery. The Starforge seemed almost alive, reacting to their presence. Panels shifted, platforms moved, and energy pulses surged as if the station itself were guiding them or testing them further. Suddenly, the floor trembled violently. A series of defense mechanisms activated. A torrent of laser beams shot across the chamber, and retractable blades emerged from the walls. Jaren ducked behind a massive pillar as Lyra manipulated a console, shutting down the traps. Sparks and energy arcs lit the room, making shadows dance like spectral creatures. "Too close," Jaren shouted, diving past a swinging energy blade. He pressed forward, guided by Lyra's instructions. Every step felt like a gamble. One misstep could trigger the Guardian or the Starforge defenses, annihilating them both. As they approached the core of the Starforge, the room changed. The energy reading spiked to dangerous levels. Jaren could feel the Starbreaker's power resonating through the machinery, almost calling out to him. Holographic projections of star systems, alien designs, and weapons schematics swirled in the air. It was overwhelming. Lyra pointed to a glowing pathway leading to an exit hatch. "Through here," she said. "It leads to the outer station." "But the Guardian will notice any movement." Jaren nodded, taking a deep breath. We moved together. No mistakes. They sprinted through the Starforge, dodging sparks, energy blasts, and shifting machinery. The Guardian's massive form loomed behind them, relentless and precise. Its eyes glowed brighter as it adjusted its strategy, predicting their movements. The tension was unbearable. Every second could be their last. Reaching the final chamber of the Starforge, Jaren noticed a small control panel embedded in the floor. Lyra gestured urgently. Activate it. It will create a temporary shield over the exit, but only for seconds. Move fast. Jaren pressed the panel. Energy surged through the room, forming a shimmering barrier that briefly blocked the Guardian. Sparks danced and the air hummed with power. The exit hatch slowly slid open, revealing a narrow passage leading to a shuttle bay. Without hesitation, Jaren grabbed Lyra's hand and sprinted through the corridor. The Guardian slammed its massive hand against the energy shield, creating a shockwave that nearly threw them off balance. But the shield held just long enough. They lunged into the shuttle bay, and Jaren slammed the control panel to activate the shuttle. Alarms blared throughout the station. The Guardian roared in mechanical fury, its eyes blazing with calculated wrath. Energy pulses surged from the Starbreaker blueprint, sending shockwaves through the Starforge. Jaren gritted his teeth and fired the shuttle's thrusters. The ancient outpost shook violently as they lifted off, debris and sparks raining from the ceiling. "Hold on!" Jaren shouted, gripping the controls. The shuttle weaved through collapsing corridors and falling debris. Lyra's glowing form hovering beside him, guiding the navigation with precision. The Guardian followed, leaping onto collapsing structures, adapting with terrifying speed. Jaren pushed the shuttle to its limits, weaving through the Starforge as explosions echoed behind them. Finally, the shuttle burst through an outer hatch, launching into the cold vacuum of space. The station trembled violently, and the Starforge's core glowed one final time before going dark. The Guardian, still looming in the entrance, emitted a final resonant warning. Its eyes dimmed slightly as it retreated into the station, disappearing into the shadows. Jaren exhaled heavily. That was too close. Lyra's glow stabilized. We survived, but only barely. The Starbreaker's secrets are intact, but its defenses are alive. Any misstep now could awaken its full power. Jaren looked back at the station, suspended against the dying star. The abandoned alien outpost had nearly claimed their lives, and yet it had revealed glimpses of the Starbreaker's unimaginable potential. He realized the stakes were higher than ever. The Starbreaker was not just a weapon, it was a force that could reshape the galaxy. And they had survived the first true trial of the station. But the journey was far from over. Jaren tightened his grip on the shuttle controls, eyes scanning the distant stars. The Guardian, the Starforge, and the dormant Starbreaker had tested them. But now, with Lyra at his side, he had a chance to understand and control the power within the station. "Next stop," Jaren said, determination in his voice. "We find the core, the heart of the Starbreaker. Whatever secrets it hides, we have to uncover them before it's too late." The shuttle darted into the shadow of the dying star, leaving the ruined Starforge behind. But the pulse of the Starbreaker echoed faintly through the void, a reminder that the true danger had only just begun. The ultimate sacrifice, Captain Jaren Holt's shuttle glided through the void, Lyra hovering beside him, glowing faintly. The abandoned alien station, the Starforge, and the Guardian were behind them, but the pulse of the Starbreaker still resonated in their minds, a reminder of the danger yet to come. "This power, it's unlike anything I've ever seen," Jaren muttered. "If it falls into the wrong hands, entire star systems could vanish." Lyra's glow pulsed in agreement. The Starbreaker was created to enforce control across galaxies. Its activation requires knowledge and precision. One mistake, and destruction spreads. Jaren's mind raced. They had survived the Starforge, but he knew the core of the weapon still awaited them, hidden somewhere in the station. To prevent catastrophe, they would have to face it, and the Guardian, once again, The shuttle approached a massive chamber, orbiting close to the station's central core. Energy readings spiked, more intense than anything they had seen. Jaren's fingers tightened on the controls as he maneuvered the shuttle toward a docking bay carved into the station's core. "This is it," Lyra said. "The heart of the Starbreaker. Whatever happens here may require sacrifice." Jaren swallowed hard. He understood her words. This was more than a test. This was a trial of courage, skill, and morality. The Starbreaker's power had survived centuries, but it demanded a cost from anyone who sought to control it. As the shuttle docked, the chamber doors hissed open. Inside, a colossal holographic display of the Starbreaker's core filled the room. It pulsed with radiant energy, circuits flowing like rivers of light. The air vibrated almost alive, and the Guardian emerged once more, towering, relentless, and unyielding. Jaren raised his blaster, but Lyra intervened. "No, the Guardian will react to aggression. We must approach carefully, or the Starbreaker will consider us threats." Step by step, they advanced toward the core. Jaren's mind raced as he analyzed the holographic blueprints. The Starbreaker could be disabled, but it required a manual override, a process that would involve channeling the core's energy through a human interface. One miscalculation could obliterate him instantly. As they neared the core, Lyra guided him to a console that controlled the Starbreaker's energy conduits. Symbols glowed, pulsing in response to their presence. Jaren reached out, connecting his neural interface to the console. The energy surged, and for a moment his vision blurred as he felt the immense power of the Starbreaker coursing through his mind. The Guardian moved closer, sensing his attempt. Its eyes blazed like twin suns, calculating, anticipating, ready to destroy the intruder. "Focus," Lyra urged. "You must channel the energy to stabilize the core. Otherwise, it will destroy everything." Jaren gritted his teeth, feeling the raw force of the Starbreaker's power. Sparks flew across the chamber as he manually adjusted the conduits. The Guardian lunged, but Lyra activated a diversion, creating temporary energy shields to slow it down. Time stretched, each second a test of will. The Starbreaker's energy pulsed violently, responding to every neural command from Jaren. He realized that controlling it required more than skill. It required sacrifice. To stabilize the core, he would have to endure a direct energy surge that could destroy his body. "No," Jaren whispered, heart hammering. But he understood. If he did not act, the Starbreaker would eventually awaken, its power unleashing devastation across the galaxy. "Do it!" Lyra urged. "You are the only one who can channel it. I cannot survive the surge. It is not designed for AI life forms." Jaren took a deep breath, steeling himself. He connected fully to the console, letting the Starbreaker's energy flow into him. Heat and light coursed through his veins, his body straining under the force. His vision blurred, and he felt his consciousness teetering on the edge between life and annihilation. The Guardian roared, stepping forward, trying to halt the process. But Lyra's shields held just long enough. The chamber shook violently as the Starbreaker's energy stabilized. Jaren gritted his teeth, knowing what he must do. With the last of his strength, he directed the core's energy into the station's containment systems, sealing the Starbreaker indefinitely. The energy surged through him, and for a moment he was weightless, suspended between life and death. Then, with a blinding flash, the chamber fell silent. The Starbreaker's core dimmed, stabilized, and the Guardian stopped its advance, retreating to its station. The immense threat of the weapon had been neutralized, but at a cost. Jaren collapsed to the floor, drained, barely conscious. Lyra hovered beside him, glowing softly. "You survived," she said, her voice gentle, "but barely. The Starbreaker will remain dormant, for now, and the galaxy owes you a debt." Jaren's lips curled into a weak smile. "I did what had to be done," he whispered. "The galaxy must be protected. No one can wield this power. Not yet." Lyra extended a hand, guiding him to a safe chamber where his injuries could stabilize. The station hummed quietly, the Guardian now a silent sentinel. The Starbreaker was contained, but its presence remained a constant reminder of what could have been. As Jaren lay there, staring at the ceiling, he understood the ultimate truth. Some victories required personal sacrifice. Some powers were too great for a single being to hold. The galaxy had been spared, but he had paid the price of endurance, courage, and near death. In the shadows, the Starbreaker blueprint flickered faintly, dormant but alive. The station whispered in alien tones, and Lyra's glow pulsed as if in acknowledgement. The threat had been neutralized, but the story was not over. Somewhere across the galaxy, remnants of the ancient empire might still linger, and the Starbreaker's legacy could rise again. Jaren Holt had survived the ultimate trial. He had faced the Guardian, confronted the Starbreaker, and made the sacrifice necessary to save countless worlds. But even as he caught his breath, one thought remained in his mind. The galaxy is safe. For now, but the Starbreaker's secrets will never truly die. Aftermath and Galactic Secrets. Captain Jaren Holt floated in the quiet of the station's observation deck. The stars stretched endlessly before him. The Starbreaker was dormant, contained safely within the ancient alien outpost, and the Guardian had returned to its eternal vigil. Lyra hovered beside him, her glow calm and soft, a silent reminder of the ally who had helped him survive the trials of the station. The adrenaline that had driven him through the Star Forge and the ultimate sacrifice had faded, leaving only exhaustion and awe. Jaren gazed at the galaxy outside, contemplating the enormity of what he had faced. The Starbreaker wasn't just a weapon, it was a remnant of a long-dead empire, a force capable of annihilating civilizations. And he had been the one to stop it from awakening. He ran a hand over the Starbreaker blueprint, still hovering in holographic form. Despite its containment, he could feel the faint pulse of energy, almost like a heartbeat lingering in the void. The whispers of the station were quieter now, but they had not vanished entirely. They seemed to carry a message, a warning and a secret, reminding him that the galaxy held mysteries far beyond human understanding. Lyra's voice broke the silence. The Starbreaker is contained, but its legacy remains. There are other outposts, other remnants. The Empire's knowledge is scattered across the stars, some of it dangerous, some valuable. Jaren nodded slowly, understanding the weight of her words. Humanity had survived this encounter, but the galaxy itself was far more fragile than anyone had imagined. The Starbreaker could have ended countless worlds in moments, and yet here it remained, dormant but ever-present, a shadow over the future. Suddenly, the observation deck's sensors detected movement. A small fleet of alien vessels emerged from hyperspace, cautiously approaching the station. Jaren tensed. The Starbreaker's presence must have been detectable across vast distances, drawing attention from civilizations long hidden. Lyra projected a star map, highlighting the fleet's trajectory. They have detected the station's energy signature. They may be explorers, scavengers, or something worse. We cannot allow the Starbreaker to fall into anyone's hands. Jaren's jaw tightened. Then we need a plan. The galaxy cannot know what is here. The secrets must remain hidden, Lyra nodded. Agreed, but the station itself has other layers. Archives, vaults, data cores, knowledge that could change everything. It is up to you to decide what to take, what to leave, and what to destroy. Jaren walked slowly along the observation deck, considering the options. The Starbreaker's power was enormous, yes, but knowledge is power too, and some knowledge was too dangerous to survive. Humanity had always strived to explore, to expand, to learn, but some discoveries came at a price. He accessed the station's archive, scanning files, holograms, and projections. Ancient civilizations, battles, weapons, star systems, some of it fascinating, some terrifying. A single slip could unleash technologies that humans were not yet ready to control. A faint echo pulsed through the station, the Guardian's watchful presence, as though approving his choices. Jaren realized that even though he had survived the Starbreaker, The station itself had become a teacher, a judge, and a keeper of galactic secrets. Hours passed as he carefully catalogued what could be preserved and what had to remain hidden. Lyra assisted, offering insights into alien technologies and explaining the potential consequences of misuse. Slowly, a plan formed. Certain archives would be securely stored, others sealed off permanently, and the location of the Starbreaker itself would be erased from active records. As the alien fleet approached, Jaren prepared the station for concealment. Energy shields rose, cloaking devices activated, and the Starbreaker's presence was hidden once more. The fleet scanned the area, sensing only a quiet, seemingly abandoned station. Unaware of the ancient weapon contained within, the ships moved on, leaving the station and the galaxy, for now, safe. Jaren turned to Lyra. The galaxy doesn't know what we've done. Humanity will continue unaware, and maybe that's for the best. Lyra's glow pulsed softly. Knowledge is dangerous, Captain, but you survived, and you made the right choice. The Starbreaker remains a secret, and you are its guardian now, in a sense. Jaren allowed himself a small, tired smile. He had faced impossible odds, navigated ancient alien traps, confronted a sentient guardian, survived the Starforge, and made the ultimate sacrifice to stabilize the Starbreaker. Now, as he gazed at the endless stars, he realized that his journey was only beginning. There were more secrets scattered across the galaxy, remnants of civilizations long gone, and power beyond imagination. Humanity had survived this encounter, but the universe was vast, full of wonders, dangers, and mysteries. And Jaren Holt, alongside his unexpected ally Lyra, was ready to face them. As the station hummed quietly, the Starbreaker blueprint pulsed one last time before dimming completely. The Guardian returned to its eternal watch, a silent sentinel. Jaren knew that while one threat had been contained, the galaxy's secrets were endless, and the choices he made today would echo across the stars for generations. He stepped onto the observation deck, looking at the stars with renewed determination. Humanity had a role to play in this vast galaxy, but knowledge, power, and responsibility came with heavy burdens. The Starbreaker was safe, the immediate threat was over. But the whispers of the station reminded him that the universe always held new challenges, new allies and new enemies, and somewhere, in the shadows of distant systems, the remnants of the alien empire might still watch, waiting, remembering, and guarding their secrets. Captain Jaren Holt took a deep breath. The galaxy was vast, dangerous, and full of secrets, but humanity would face it. And perhaps, just perhaps, they were ready. The station's hum faded into silence. The Starbreaker remained dormant. The Guardian continued its eternal vigil. And for the first time in centuries, the galaxy slept safely. At least for now, Jaren Holt looked out at the stars, a new resolve in his eyes. The adventure was over, but the story of human courage, intelligence, and resilience had only just begun.